Hello, everyone. My name is Christian. Today we are going to be doing the Realm of the Elderlings tier list. So, just to give some background, I finished this series by Robin Hobb. I love Robin Hobb. I think she is one of the best living authors today. I actually met her a year and a half ago at Dragonsteel, which was probably one of the best experiences ever. Meeting her, that was just such a wonderful experience. But I'm doing a tier list today because I finished the series, all 16 books. Two of them are cut off here on the bottom. But I finished all 16 books last month, I believe. And I've been thinking about what I think of the overall series. I do think this is one of the best series of all time. I can very expressly say that, very confidently. But some of the particular books I don't really feel hot on, and that's what today is going to be about, is figuring out how I feel about all 16 books. So we're going to go in order of chronological. So we're going to do the Farseer trilogy, these three books here: Assassin's Apprentice, Royal Assassin, and Assassin's Crest first, and then the Live Ship Traders, Ship of Magic, Mad Ship, Ship of Destiny. And then we're going to be doing the Tawny Man trilogy, which is the Fool's Errand, Golden Fool, and Fool's Fate. Second to last is the Dragon, or what's it called? Um, the Ranwild Chronicles, which has Dragon Keeper, Dragon Haven, City of Dragons, and Blood of Dragons. And then we have Fool's Assassins, Fool's Crest, and Assassin's Fate, which is the final trilogy, which is the Fitz and the Fool trilogy, which was wonderful. Uh, so let's get started on the tier list. Assassin's Apprentice, Book 1. I'm going to say it's wonderful. This made me commit to the entire series, I'll be honest. I loved the prose of it. This was a great enough book for me to commit to the rest of the series, because a lot of people say that this is a very depressing series, and it can be, but I think it's a much more emotional story, because it is one that betrayal is often something that happens. Our main character is attached to animals, and he's just really sort of given the worst treatment by Robin Hobb. So, but Assassin's Apprentice, I think, just really sets the stage of where all 16 books go. It's kind of amazing how amazing and great the writing is right from book one. Robin Hobb, she stays pretty consistent throughout the entire series, I feel like, when it comes to prose. Her prose is unmatched. So, Royal Assassin, book two, I remember it being pretty good. I remember it being very tough to read because there's a lot of things going on that you just don't understand. And that's done in an intentional way. But because Robin Hobb is sort of playing with sort of the POV and sort of dealing with our main character still being so young and not being able to really be a major part of the story, or at least a major mover of story. And I don't know, I just don't. I remember it fondly, but I don't remember it too fondly. I remember it just being very confusing. I still like the writing a lot. I liked Night Eyes, of course, but yeah. So the next one is going to be Assassin's Crest. This one, I'm going to say, is also wonderful. I'm going to put it above Assassin's Apprentice, though. Assassin's Crest, I love that book. I have a signed copy, not limited edition, but I guess a special edition of this book, book 3, signed by Robin Hobb, and I love this book. First time I read it, I was like, man, what an emotional roller coaster. The ending to book 2 was awesome, but that's what makes it so good. I feel like it holds up the book, but book 3 was just awesome from beginning to end, and everything that happens in this book reverberates all the way till the final scenes of the series, and that's what makes it so special to me. I That's why I love Robin Hobb so much too. Is that she takes everything, she brings everything back, and always does something new with it, and makes it really interesting and awesome. It's just really special. So now, Live Ship Traders, probably one of my favorite trilogies within the entire series, and it's not even Fitz related. So, Ship of Magic Book 1, I'm going to say is wonderful. I'm going to put it above Assassin's Apprentice because this is a multi POV trilogy. You have a lot more characters that you're seeing through the eyes of, a lot more interesting characters, I feel like, a lot more unique characters, I will say. I think getting the POV of Kenneth is just amazing. I think he is such an evil guy. I don't like him. And you just can't stop reading that book. Can't stop reading the POVs. It's so interesting. Mad Ship Book 2, I remember also thinking it was wonderful. I think Book 1 is a little bit better in my head. I don't really remember what happens in Book 2 as much as I do Book 1. Book 1, I feel like, was just such a great start to the trilogy. But Book 3, Ship of Destiny, what do I think of that? I think it's perfection. I think this is one of the best books that she has ever written. The climaxes are some of the best I've ever read in fantasy. I loved all of the reveals. I loved all the tie-ups with the plot, and just so many emotional resolutions that I loved, and I just could not get enough. It was awesome. I love Book 3. So, Tawny Man. Fool's Errand, I'm going to say, was wonderful. I'm going to put it above Assassin's Apprentice. And the more I think about it, the more I feel like I should just put this down here, because there's going to be a lot of 9 out of 10s in this series. So I need to prepare for that. So I'm going to put you on number 8. So I'm sorry. So Golden Fool. I'm trying to get this all in one. Book 2. I did not like this book. I was very meh on it. I just did not care about the storylines at all that were going on. There was a major death, which I was not ready for, but otherwise, the book really had nothing going on for me. And it was just really boring, I felt like. But it was still written very well. I loved just reading Robin Hobb's writing. I think it's fantastic. But Fool's Fate, Book 3, I'm going to have to put to perfection above Ship of Destiny. I loved this book. This was famously, I don't know how famous, but this was the review that I ended up taking down because I could not stop crying because I was just so emotionally affected by this book. I loved it. I thought it was just amazing at the end. All of the resolutions, climaxes, all the deaths, all the very intimate moments that we get at the end between Fitz and the Fool. I just could not handle it. I love that book. Love this book. I think about it all the time. I'm always thinking about the events, thinking about the characters, thinking about the journeys and what led them to this book. And it's always just such an emotional kind of thought experiment for me, because I just love all the characters. Like, Run with the Elderlings, all these characters I have so much investment for and so much care for. And I just cannot. I just don't know, like. I don't want to do a reread of all 16 books, but I do want to reread a few of the trilogies. Mainly the first one and Live Ship, just because I missed so much in both of those. But let's move on to the Rainwild Chronicles, my least favorite series. Dragon Keeper, I thought was pretty good, actually. Maybe I would put it on great. Not as good as Assassin's Apprentice, but I do think it's great because this is probably the strongest book, I feel like, because you had a lot going on story-wise. You had the continuation of the live ships storyline and the Rain Wilds, and you get all these new characters, and I would say about two of them are very interesting. The rest of them are not that interesting, but those two characters, they really hold up the book, and I loved it. I don't know. I love the series a lot, but not this specific sub series. Dragon Haven Book 2, although I really enjoyed it, not much happens story wise. This was the book where I was like, okay, Robin Hobb's treading water a lot. And this pacing is not like Robin Hobb. And so I'm going to have to put it in pretty good. Do I put it above book 2 of Farsia, though? I would say yes. Just because at least I was enjoying what was happening in Dragon Haven, because Dragon Haven was definitely the slowest paced book in all 16 books. Because most of the book is just sitting with dragons and making sure they stay alive. And it does not make for the most interesting reading ever, but I thought it was wonderful. But obviously, it's not better than these books at all. But yeah. City of Dragons, I would say. I would say it's pretty good. I'm gonna put that above Dragon Haven, but City of Dragons was the first one in the series I would say was really interesting. I love the lore. I love the world building. I love getting to Kelsingra. That was great. But I don't know. It just the characters just were not there. I do not like the characters, but Blood of Dragons, book 4, I'm gonna have to put into meh. I did not like it. I probably liked it even less than Golden Fool. So yeah, I'm gonna put that at the bottom. This is my least favorite book, Blood of Dragons. I do not like this book. I do not like the pacing of it. I did like the ending in some parts. It was somewhat satisfying, but otherwise, I did not care. Okay, Fist and the Fool trilogy, book 1. I loved it so much. But where would I put this? Fool's Errand. I don't even remember the numbers of these books, but let me see. I would put it above Fool's Errand. I'd put it above book 2 of Live Ship. I'd put it above book 1 Live Ship. I think even, yeah, I'm going to put it number 1 for Wonderful. This is a solid 9 out of 10. This is one of my favorite books of the series. I guess it is a top 3 book. This was just such a emotional book for me. It was a very perfect book for sort of the time of my life that I read this book at, because I explained it in my review. You can go watch it, but I changed careers from transit to school to education, and this book had a lot of familiarity. I can't do this word. It had a lot of similarities to what I do in my job, and sort of had a lot of similarities to some of the students I have with some of the characters in this book. And it made me just really emotionally invested in it, into these characters, because not only are they one of the main characters of this trilogy, but also they're the child of one of the most important characters of this series. I'm trying not to talk spoilers, but I love this book. It was awesome. Fool's Crest, book 2. I did not like really all that much. I'm going to say it's pretty good. I will put it above all the dragon books, though, because I don't like those books as much. But the final book of the series, Assassin's Fate, I loved it. I think it's wonderful, but do I think it's better than book 1? No. Is it better than book 3, Farsia? there were aspects of it that I loved more, but I think overall I do like book 3 of Farseer more. But I'm gonna push this down to great because there's too many books in this. Okay, I don't think it's better than book 1 Live Ship. I think it goes right here. I do think it's better than book 2 of Live Ship, but it's not better than book 1. There were a few stumblings I felt like during book 3 that I was a little angry about. Well, I read it, I talk about it in my review, so you watch it, but I was just really, I was overall satisfied. I'll say that. I was really happy with the 6-year journey I took reading this series, but I felt like maybe my expectations were a little too high. So I think that's it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you think of this tier list. I think these 2 books really are perfect. Maybe this is perfect too. Maybe yeah. I'll bump this up. Why not? Just so there's an even amount for the most part. But I love this series. I don't know if I'll read these books again. Some series within Realm of the Elderlings I may, but will I do a full read of Realm of the Elderlings again in my life? I don't know. That's where I'm at right now. But thank you all so much for watching again, and please let me know what you think below. And I do have a Patreon. I don't really plug it all that often, but if you're still watching and you're listening, it's there. It's in the description. But that's it. Thank you all so much for watching, and please have a great rest of the day.